The motive has to be there. What was your why?
It was fundamentally my daughter. I was in a pretty dark place, so I was probably depressed. Like, I was drinking a lot, like, just in the week, like, not even for a reason. That wasn't a good example, like, running around with her in the garden or in the park, like, out of breath, just, like, being useless.
Because you wanted to set an example, you wanted to lay down the structure of this healthy lifestyle that you wanted for her.
Like, looking back on it, I think that you would classify it as, like, postnatal depression or whatever. Like, I think it did have an impact on me. And then I thought, hold on, this isn't how I should be doing. And then from that switch last year of starting doing this, it's been completely different.
Given what you've just been through and what you've learned, what kind of advice would you give them to start doing something?
Just to...
Hi, Richard.
Hi.
Welcome to Breaking Barriers. You've just, for everyone that's listening or watching, they don't know the story of what you've just been through. You've done this amazing transformation and the challenge. And a lot of young men are kind of lost in the culture now that we have. Okay, so it's very overwhelming, the lifestyle that is kind of imposed on you in this culture, especially in the West now. A lot of young men are out of shape. It's not supposed to be this way. You probably know how strongly I feel about this. But it doesn't take that much for someone to sort their lives out and then get in shape, right? And then keep it. If you just understand the most important things that you need to adhere to. Given what you've just been through and what you've learned, what would you say to someone who's on the other side of this, maybe even on the fence? What kind of advice would you give them to start doing something?
Just to... Yeah, I suppose just to do it, really. It's kind of, you got to think about the bigger picture, what you want to get out of your sort of life. I think quite often, and especially for me, you're just going through the motions, just one day after another. You're not really thinking ahead, and that can very easily lead to kind of issues or just getting out of shape because I'll just have a takeaway tonight, and then I'll have one tomorrow. Like, you just don't really think about it, or like, won't go to the gym today. So if you want to make a change, or if you are kind of on the fence, you need to think about where you want to be and just go for it, really.
Awesome. Yeah. One thing I think people have to have, especially younger men, you're in your 30s, right?
Yeah.
So how old are you?
I'm 33.
You're 33, so quite young. Now, you're very conscious because you've sorted it out now, but you didn't come to us when you were 50, right? Saying, I'm 50, I'm fucked. Please help me. Also happens a lot. The motive has to be there. So amongst all the people that I've seen in my career doing well, they had to have a strong why. What was your why?
Yeah, I think, well, it was fundamentally my daughter. So when I started, she was almost turning 2, and I was in I wasn't a pretty dark place. So I was probably depressed, like
Mentally, yeah.
Yeah, like, I was drinking a lot, like, just in the week, like, not even for a reason, and that wasn't setting a good example. Like, running around with her in the garden or in the park, like, out of breath, just, like, being useless, struggling to, like, not struggling to pick her up, but, like, it was more of a challenge than it should be for, like, someone who's like 32 at that time.
Yeah.
Like, it was just, I just thought, this is what it's like now. What's she going to remember me as she gets older? And also then, what habits are we setting for her as she gets older? It's a bit of a never-ending cycle as a result. So I should try and do something not only that's beneficial for me, so that I'm healthier, I live longer. So, I'm only in my 30s, but the sooner you start, the better you can set yourself up later in life as well.
100%.
So it's more time with her, but also it's like setting good kind of like things in place for her as well, to kind of learn and see and feel like, looking after yourself is something you should be doing. Like, neither of my parents ever exercised, or, like, the gym was an alien concept. Like,
Right.
They didn't eat, like, badly, but they ate, like, traditional British, like, food, like meat and 2 veg, things like that. And it was just, very kind of sort of basic, and, drank wine, and not excessively, but, like, again, they were, wouldn't say my dad's in great shape or anything like that. So that was all an alien concept, and I don't want her to kind of feel like that when she gets older or goes to school, and, like, oh, these people can do this, why, like, are we not doing that? And so I thought it's better to do it early whilst I have more time to be able to do it. And I just felt like the longer I left it, either A, I was going to be in a much worse state mentally, which is going to have a negative impact on everyone, and two, physically, the longer I left it, it was going to get more difficult, like
True.
as well. And also, it was a bit of a thing for me when I was at school. I was really sporty. Like I was in every sports team. I did like 100 meters, 200 meters, was football, everything, and left school and just like lost it all.
Mm,
And the gym was always intimidating and stuff. So I'd always been doing team sports. Then I lost it, moved to London, and then it was just the culture of the jobs I worked for was going out Thursday night, we're going out Friday night, and it just snowballed from there.
so what was it then? What was the elements? So think back to this time.
Yeah,
Were you kind genetically you're good, like you're gifted, right? You're probably a good runner, you're a good sprinter, right? And you've done that in school. What was it in the next chapter of your life after school that made you less active, driven your mental health down the way it was?
I think it's two factors. I think one of it is confidence, just because I'm not a super confident person, so like having to go out there and join a new team or something like that was something I didn't particularly like. But also,
Mm,
that's next stage was going to university, and going to university in the UK is basically going out
that's
drinking
right.
all the time.
Socialize.
Yeah, exactly. And then you start doing that, and then it's like you're hungover, and it's like you can't bother to do something, and then it's if you don't do it, it's almost like you're strange. It was then. I think these days the perception has changed a
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, how long ago was that? Like 10, 15 years ago. Like it was just if you weren't going out for beers like with roommates.
Like as soon as you turn 18, you kind of have to. Yeah.
Exactly, or
Yeah.
even before 18, like
All right.
realistically. But yeah, like going to university and then you just get into different stuff, and then I said like, as soon as I graduated, I moved to London, and then again you're just working like constantly as well. So it's hard because then you're making friends, but the way you make friends is you're going to the pub with them after work, and
That's right.
it's just
This is the London culture, isn't
Yeah.
it? People finish the office hours and then they
Yeah.
go to the pub and then they drink together.
yeah,
And that's how they bond, or not. Because everybody's drunk. So go back to what I was saying earlier. The lifestyle that we've built in the West that kind of imposes this perceived pressure on young men coming out of uni, going to the city, trying to find a good job, trying to climb the corporate ladder. Do you think part of that contributed to the mental health struggle that you were having?
yeah. I think so. I think there are some other factors as well, but yeah, I do think so. I think the pressure, like I don't have a high flying job particularly, but like there is pressure in it and long hours and the releases. Oh, it was a tough day. Oh, I'll have a drink, and so it's a way of kind of like
Escaping.
yeah, exactly. But that leads to anxiety, and issues are compounded, and so it's like I'll have another drink to kind of like get over that,
Of
and then
course.
but and ultimately the underlying thing is obviously the pressure and the expectation and like especially more recently, it wasn't so at the start of my career, but like I am the main breadwinner in our family, so it's like if I get made redundant, like we are screwed. So again, you've
Yeah.
got that pressure of like, right, I've just got to keep kind of going and kind of ploughing through, and
Yeah.
yeah, it does take your toll because then you don't sleep so well, and then that has an impact, and you're not eating well, then you feel awful. So it's just never ending.
Do you know what I'm hearing? I'm hearing that your little girl is actually the blessing of your life. Because without her, it sounds like she's the biggest driver, the biggest motive for you to sort your life out. Because you wanted to set an example, you wanted to, lay down the structure of this healthy lifestyle that you wanted for her. And therefore, you had to demonstrate the example.
It was. I'll be honest. It wasn't initially. I struggled for probably up until that point. I made that conscious decision to make a change, adapting to being a father. And I think it was like, oh, I can't go and do the things I used to be able to do, which
Yes.
was go out and drink and socialise and all that sort of stuff. And obviously, actually, it ended up being a good thing. But like, it did. Like looking back on it, I think whether you would classify it as like postnatal depression or whatever, like I think it did have an impact on me. And then I thought, hold on, this isn't how I should be doing. And then from that switch last year of starting doing this, it's been completely different. And now my relationship with my daughter is very different. Like now I'm her. I know kids like they pick and choose who their favourite parent is at any given time, but my bond with her is so much more than it was before.
How was it before?
It was kind of fine, but it was all like maybe there was a bit of resentment, maybe underlying. I guess if I'm it sounds awful saying that, like saying that about your kids, but like,
But it wasn't conscious, right?
no,
It was just the way you carried yourself because of how you were feeling.
yeah, exactly. And it's not like I was negligent or like not doing stuff, and I'd spend time with her, but it was very clear that like my partner, she was her favorite like parent, up to the point where like if my partner walks out of a room, like she's won't stop crying, like even like doesn't really want to be around me that much. Like she would be, but like if she could choose, it'd be that way. And then now it's kind of the complete like opposite.
How does that feel?
Yeah, it's great because like I'm the one who's like running around with her in the park and stuff, and she knows that's what me and her do. We have that special time together now. So yeah, it's completely different. It's great.
This is really cool because I've got girls, as you know. I've got three now. One of them is still very young, but the other two, right? My worst nightmare as a father is really actually two things: is limitation, so being limited on how much I can do with them, and this is something in everybody's control. So what I'm referring to here is things like physical activity, right? Um, Finances, not really so much, because a lot of people think of the finances first, especially when it's not great. They think, okay, I don't have the money to be able to do stuff. It isn't about that, because you'll have a lot of really well-balanced people grow up in a poor house,
Yeah.
but they had the right kind of attention.
Yeah.
So limitation is way beyond the financial abilities. So your ability to be present and to have good energy, because I believe kids pick up on energy.
Yeah.
And if you play with them, they play like you mean it. If you run around, do you run like you can? Or do you kind of see you struggling? And all these things combined, accumulated, the affect how your relationship with the kids. So this is one of my nightmares. The second one is the influence. Is they watch me doing stuff. I go out of the door and I say, I don't say I'm going to work. I say I'm going to the gym. Okay, Daddy, you going to the gym? Which gym are you going to today, right? And I know that's going to have an impact when they're 12, 15, etc.
I've got it. So as obviously part of the challenge, the stay at home. So if you have to do like the cardio abs thing, and I do that. You do that in the morning.
So the online workout that you had to do in the morning,
yeah,
right?
So do that, and then sometimes she would like be awake. She'd be up. I try and do it before she got up, so she was like not in the way. But then she'd do it, and he said, "Well, Daddy, what are you doing?" I was saying, "Oh, I'm doing some exercises." And even to this day, and it's been like 6 weeks, 7 weeks since the end of the challenge, she's like, "Oh, I need to do my exercises," and she will replicate some of those exercises that are on that online video and do it today, and be like, "Oh, I'm doing my exercises, and Daddy, will you do my exercises with me?" So
amazing.
Even from her seeing me do it maybe like 3 or 4 times, she's now copying like that as well.
Yeah, because I think every parent knows this. Kids do copy. They don't listen so much, but they do copy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so you have to do. And the good news about this, about what I'm saying, is these two things that really scare me, which I believe they should scare every parent. They're in your control.
Yeah.
Like you can change them tomorrow just by making the right decision. Do you feel a sense of pride from her towards you now? Is that part of the dynamics? Like she's proud of you. Like she sees you like.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, she's 3 on Tuesday, so I think it's a bit hard perhaps to kind of see that, but I definitely, I think so in some capacity. Yeah, like she's definitely more warm and like.
Well,
I picked her up from nursery the other day. She went up to every single nursery worker. Like, my daddy, it's my daddy. Like, just so excited that we're kind of there. And again, that didn't used to always be the case. So, yeah.
Having girls are the best. Till a dad, because I'm trying to be selfish here, and anyone who's watching this, I'm trying to kind of maybe try to help them make that decision. It's just say someone is struggling, down as you were before you started looking after yourself. How do you take care of you as a dad, young dad especially? How do you take care of yourself?
It's tough.
Try to break it down, like the things that you've been through, the things that you've done. How do you tell someone else to take care of themselves? What's more important?
Yeah, I guess like if you're not taking care of your, ultimately, I guess with any parent, whether you're a mother or father, like you're no longer the number one priority in your like life or house.
Yes.
But what you can forget in that is that if you don't look after yourself, that has the adverse effect on the broader group, because for all the reasons we've kind of talked about like before. So I think some of it is not necessarily putting yourself first, but thinking right, if I don't do this, what's the impact, or like, you know, on others and the broader group. So it's just like simple things about making sure you are active. Like, even if it's not going to the gym, it's like go out and go for a walk. You know, don't get out from, especially if you work a desk job like I do, like just get out at lunchtime and go for a walk, get some steps,
Yeah.
enjoy the sunshine, just get some fresh air. And that can already like de-stress you, so you don't need to revert to the other tropes that you might need to
Yes.
have done before. Getting the sleep is like going to bed early. Again, that's my problem, is I'd always stay up too late. And so just, it's little things really. It's not like you have to make, obviously, you know, going to the gym or getting active in that way is obviously is really important, has the biggest benefit, but it's just starting with the little things, like getting your sleep sorted, getting your steps in, not necessarily changing your diet. Maybe it depends how you want to do it. If you want to do something like this, obviously change your diet completely, but like just make gradual sort of changes, because sometimes going like cold turkey on everything can be quite hard,
100%.
especially if you've got a family, because
Yeah.
making huge changes is going to impact them, especially if it's like, right, I'm gonna these are my macros or whatever. You know, they follow what you do, or you basically live two separate kind of like lives, which can work, but it's more costly, it's more time consuming. And so trying to gradual sort of changes, and even just doing those little changes, they have like big impacts, and down the line. One thing I noticed when I've always slept badly, and then when I was doing the challenge, my sleep improved, and I didn't feel like I was tired in the mornings. And then I stopped doing the challenge, not revert back completely to the old ways, but like did a little bit here or there, like all the things. And then my sleep messed up, and I just felt tired. I was like, guys, this is what I used to feel like all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, go back to what you were doing, Richard. Come on. Yeah, the challenge is tough. And back to what you're saying, to your point, going cold turkey and everything and changing everything is very difficult, which is why I believe you have to do it under the supervision of a coach.
Yeah.
Because two things here are really important. The vast majority of people will fail if they go cold turkey and everything. So there's the accountability that a coach provides, and then there's the clear structure that they lay down for you without you having to think about it. These two things are very valuable, and they're valuable for everybody. And I don't know, I haven't seen it a lot of times in my career. I believe if you're gonna make the changes by yourself, just start with the simplest things,
Yeah.
because they add up, and then they contribute towards your self-esteem. And then if you have better self-esteem, you start then making better decisions,
Yeah.
and then it affects everything. And it's a gradual process. But yeah, my favorite way is to go aggressive, as you probably know. But you have to have the right help. Let's talk about Richard, the man, not the father. Richard, the young man. You've just gone through this journey. How did it affect your life, you as Richard?
Yeah, I mean, great. I mean, obviously there's the physical element to it, losing weight, being stronger, like looking better, whatever, not feeling as tight, like all that sort of stuff. But just mentally, just far more positive, far more focused.
So your performance overall, including at work, did that change?
I would say I was more positive at work. I think
my
my
performance was like
relatively like I'm pretty consistent at work, to be honest. But I just say being more positive, like not wake up in the morning thinking like, oh, I can't be bothered to do this. Just being like, yeah, cool, this is the
So your mental, because this is one thing I get all the time. Mental performance does change when you get in shape, right? So you've less brain fogs, you're more focused, your attention is better, and all that stuff. Did you experience any of that?
less, for sure, like definitely less brain fog. When I so before I started doing any of this, when I used to get the train into London in the morning, I'd fall asleep on the train. When I came back, I'd fall asleep on the train. Don't do that anymore.
Okay.
So like just that, and then that is better, because when you have those fall asleep on the train, your brain then is clouded
Takes a little time,
for a lot longer.
Yeah.
And then when you fall asleep on the train on the way back, it's hard to get sleep at night because you've had some sort of sleep at like 6 o'clock at night or whatever, which isn't like great.
Yeah.
So yeah, it definitely has alleviated like the fog, just a bit clearer.
What about confidence?
Oh yeah, definitely. I would say I'm a sort of person that I'm confident in the things I know I can do.
Yes.
So like my job, like, I know I can do that. So
Yeah.
I'm always confident, but like just outside of it, I think, I just walking around, like I naturally would just be like, look down at the floor sort of thing. And
Yeah.
now it's kind of like,
So how you carry yourself.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Which I think is, which has been good, and just, not worrying about little things anymore, or just like, just blocking out the noise inside your head sort of thing, I think.
You're like, if I can do the challenge, I can do anything.
Yeah.
This is nasty. This is yeah, this is awesome, because I have seen the change in you, because obviously we've met, like the consultation, and you come in here, you're like the quiet guy that comes in, trains, and then leaves.
Yeah.
And then Jose believed you could smash the challenge, so he put you forward for that. And I honestly seen the difference in how you carry yourself, the difference in how you perform and train in the gym, just how you approach everything. You're much more forward now with everything. And
Yeah, when I first joined, I barely spoke to anyone.
Yeah.
I was like, just even with the coaches, I just didn't. I was just like, yeah, okay, just. And then now, chat with everyone and
Yeah.
and everything. It's completely, it's completely different.
I've seen it. And you know what's interesting about that is that the internal confidence that you develop just by improving yourself. And my recipe for confidence is improve yourself and your life in all the areas that you deem not complete. And then it raises your self-esteem, and then it raises your confidence, and then it affects everything else.
Because when we did the reveal and saw the first photo of when I joined,
Yeah.
I think for me, the most striking change was like just how my facial expression, like just I looked so dead behind the eyes in that
Yes.
first photo, like
Yes.
almost like there was nothing there, and unhappy and everything. And then just looking at me now, it's like night and day. It's just so different. And
Yeah.
so that was because some of the other guys, it's like quite, or ladies, it's quite big transformation body wise. But for me, I think it was just more my
It was an all-rounder.
Yeah.
It was a 360. It was internal and external.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really, look, I say this to every man. Honestly, you have to have a difficult physical element in your life. So you have to have a physical challenge in your life, and it has to be consistent. If you don't have that, the way we're wired as men, I don't think you function as good in every area of your life. So training, right, is the best thing you can do. Best form of training is weight training, which is what you do more of. Now, if you don't do that, I honestly think you lose part of yourself. Like going back to what you're saying, dead behind the eyes. It's a great expression. Because if you don't fulfill your potential in the physical world as a man, I believe you lose part of yourself, right? So it's not just about the looks. No, I don't. I think for every man, it's about how you feel about yourself and what you do. And even going to the gym 4 or 5 times a week, and then achieving hard sessions and getting the joy after the session that I've just done something hard.
Yeah.
That's a huge contributor to confidence for men, right? Even if you're not shredded. I really believe that. Obviously, it's better to have both for health reasons as well. But I think that should be a staple in every man's life.
Yeah.
And back then, I think that was missing, and now it's not. So you're definitely different.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm really proud of you of what you've achieved. The challenge is not a joke.
No.
To go through it, it changes you internally as much as externally. And doing the reveal, when I saw the change, I'll be honest, I kind of forgotten what you looked like
Yeah.
before. And when we put the two pictures together, it was like the most amazing thing. Not even because of the physical transformation only. It was because, do you remember this eyebrow picture that I got towards your eyebrow? That was brilliant, because that was like an illustration of I think you didn't want to do it, but when you did it, you meant it, right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then you look at the camera and you raise your eyebrow, and if you put that next to the other one, the psychological difference.
I just wouldn't have done
think,
that
is
like
huge.
in that a year ago. Like it just would have been like no.
Yes.
Yeah. But it was also just like I didn't care about what I looked like at all. Like looking at those photos, like my boxers were hanging out. I was wearing shorts I'd had for about 10 years that were ripped. My shoes were like a 70-year-old would wear, and I looked really like unkempt, whatever, and everything. Not that I'm super grim now, but like it just was. Yeah, it was just very, very different.
Yes. No. Yeah. It's all over you. So the only thing I can tell you is keep it up. Set yourself goals. Like continue to set yourself goals and new challenges, because it will only continue to make you better as you experienced. For anyone who is doubting or perhaps prioritizing things wrong, amount of things I've seen now in my career, amount of transformations, physical transformations, especially when it comes to men. It's not a choice. I don't believe it's a necessity, and men just have to do this. Otherwise, you really look back and you think, I'm such an idiot for wasting my 20s and my 30s.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you did it when you did, because if you were 40s, you probably feel completely different. That's if you made it at all, because a lot of men now think it's too late because they're 40 plus or 50 plus.
I've got to say, a lot of the people that come here obviously are older in that sort of age category. And it is so impressive to see like how they have changed and also how strong and able they are to kind of do things. I mean, they're all way stronger than me. I'm not that strong. I'm not very strong, but so they show me up every time I'm in a session. So that, for me, that's inspiring to keep going as well. So
yes, 100%. No, the community is great, and you definitely belong here. Thank you, Richard.
Thank you.
Keep smashing it.
Cheers.
And I'll see you out there.